Welcome back. Now we're going to be talking about China's role in the last days. This is the Last Chronicles of Planet Earth. This is Frank DeMore, and if you'd like, you can go to my website from YouTube and click this link right here, and you'll get this book for free. It's a documentary on Bible prophecy and current events that I wrote, and it is filled with evidence, documents, and proof that Bible prophecy is currently coming to pass. So let's take a look at the prophecy sign. Revelation chapter 18, verses 11 through 12. The merchants of the earth will weep and mourn over her because no one buys her cargoes anymore. And then in verse 12, we see the Lord begins to list a lot of the items that people are going to be crying over in the last days when God takes them away. One of the items is gold, and I'm going to connect this with what's going on in China. Here's the headline today. It says Chinese mean to control the global gold market, and they are going to try to do this. It says the Pan-Asian will allow Chinese to speculate in gold future contracts or buy physical gold through an account with the bank or broker. All 320 million customers of the giant agriculture bank of China will simply be able to use the renminbi as the Chinese currency from their bank accounts to trade gold. Sounds bloody dangerous. So we know for a fact that China's already purchased millions and millions of dollars worth of gold. And we know that this is partly in reason to fulfill what we see from Revelation, where a lot of the people are going to be counting not on Jesus, but on the gold and the silver and all these different items that he listed. So let's go now and show you how the connection is. In Revelation chapter 9, verses 14 through 16, it says, And said to the sixth angel who had the trumpet, Release the four angels who are bound at the great river Euphrates. And the four angels who had been kept ready for this very hour and a day and a month and a year were released to kill a third of mankind. And you'll notice the number of the mounted troops was 200 million. So here we have the Euphrates River. To the east of it, you have China's army, and we're going to show you the 200 million. I'll give you proof of that. And then Revelation 16:12, the sixth angel poured out his bowl on the great river Euphrates, and its water was dried up to prepare the way of the kings from the east. So, is there an army to the east that numbers exactly 200 million soldiers? And also keep in mind it's talking about the kings of the east. So let me move on to the next slide here. This is a slide that I took from an old newspaper, and you'll see that right here, May 21st, 1965. And if you notice in here, it talks about China having exact army of 200 million men. To back up Lao's boaster, Red China had passed the word that its 200 million man and women militia had gone into serious training. So there's no question, China has an army that numbers 200 million soldiers. And so we see that China is growing in power. And why? Because they're going to play a major role in the last days. So we see China as the world power to rival the U.S. They're taking over. They're taking over the economy. Most of the products are developed and produced in China now. And this is all part and parcel for what's taking place in these last days.
Time now for the part of the show we call What in the World? That's exactly the phrase that came to mind when we saw these images. A 4,000-ton frigate, fully armed with air defense missiles, off the Libyan coast. It wasn't an American ship, it wasn't British, French, Russian, it wasn't any of the usual suspects. It was Chinese. This was a first. The first time in history a Chinese warship has ever sailed in the Mediterranean Sea.
All right, so we're going to continue on in the next video. Scroll down and you'll see how important it is to know what's going to happen with China.